When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud.
Claim your
right?
Africanness.
Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.
Oh, you found some
Claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. Become a part of it. Embrace it. 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 When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.
Dr. DAW in the building with Queen of B, Doc on the box in B-More City. We say, Queen say, Doc in the box. You understand? Queen of B traveling to B-More, special guest in the studio at TNAT Holistic Wellness Center. Black Box is a mobile and stationary. You understand? It is. It's a mobile platform. It's mobile and it's stationary. She does it all. You understand? So look, family, peace. Go ahead and like this video, share it, thumbs up. Let the people know we are in the building. I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to Queen so I can, look, family. So let me do this before I turn over to Queens. I don't know what it's exactly titled. Well, it says question session with Dr. DAW. That's what she said. Question session with Dr. DAW. Family, so we want you to, as Queen say, jump in the chat and
don't hold back.
She said, jump in the chat and don't hold back, right?
Nah.
She gets some things, she pretty cool, I don't even know why she lets me start the show. When I hear her, she starts off the show really good. Black Box, and we platform Black excellence, we platform Black people, and we platform Blackness. And I'm like, I can't even get it. And I wear black lipstick, by the way. So nonetheless, Queen is black, y'all, and she's black, y'all. And we're wearing black today, and we didn't plan it. And God knows, my pineal gland is working. You understand? So nonetheless, family, we want you to join us in the room. We want you to ask the questions. We want to talk about all the things, challenge. I want Queen to come with the challenging questions. You know what I mean? All the things we talked about I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about politics. I want to talk about Black men, Black women, Black children. I want us to talk about it all. Let's talk about me. Talk about whatever it is. Let's do it. And I'll tell you if I can, I'll just be straight up. I won't answer that. But the reality is most of the time I will answer it. So, I might not know. I might not have an answer. But Queen, let me turn it over to you. Queen, talk to the people.
What's up, family? We are in Baltimore, B City. It feels so good. It's cool. Baltimore's beautiful this time of year. And I'm in the studio at TNAT Wellness Center.
It's holistic.
Holistic on the west side. On the east side.
East side.
Side.
I reside.
On the east side.
East side, high rises, west side, low rise. I don't know which ones he said, but you know what I'm talking about.
We over east.
Yeah.
So we over east chilling. So it's really good to be in studio tonight. Listen, full transparency. We were supposed to be canceled today because, but Dr. DAW is so dedicated to this platform. So I appreciate him because we had some technical difficulties this week. It's been pretty weird, but we're going to fight through them. We're coming back on Sunday. But tonight we're going to just have a question session with Dr. DAW. We're just going to dig into what's going on. We almost in 2025. We got like a month, maybe a month and a half. Time is flying. A new year. So I hope you guys are preparing for that. But tonight we're going to talk about anything, everything, and some of the things. But all of the things are going to get some answers tonight.
All the things are going to get some answers tonight.
All the things. So listen, jump in the chat. Throw your questions in the chat. Tell me what this is a free wellness. Listen, you got a therapist. You got some free therapy sessions. Get ready to go down. This is the digital healing hour. Drop them questions in the comments.
Some community therapy.
Real talk.
Some community therapy, not the clinical therapy, the internet therapy.
Community stuff. But first, Dr. I do want to kind of go back to right now, because I think we're in the time we definitely got Trump in office.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are waiting for the shoe to drop. They're like, they don't know what to do.
Waiting for the shoe to drop.
Because, Biden is still present.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't switched it over yet, but, we hear Trump appointees.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, I don't know. So I think people are really scared right now. They're in they're a place they can't recognize. Let's say that. Some of them, I don't know. So I think, what you think?
You sound good. That's what I think. I'm trying to make sure everything's moving.
Right.
You sounded good. Look, finally she's not giving me that feedback. So that's good. Let's get it in. I don't know how I sound, but let me see how I sound. Then we're gonna go ahead and get it going. I don't know if I sound as good as you, but I sound good. Go ahead.
Be sure as they make it sure. So what you think about the how people are feeling right now? Like it's a tentative feeling. I feel like folks don't know what's coming. They're afraid of what's coming. It might be good. They're even trying to be optimistic. Well, it won't be that bad. Or what do you think the feeling of the country is right now? What are people feeling?
I mean, by the way that when you say the country, by the look of the electorate, majority of them must be relieved.
Real happy, because everything is in favor of the Repubs.
I mean,
everything.
I mean,
they got it all.
He did pretty good.
He swept, baby. He cooked.
But I think you're probably talking about us though, like the black folk, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about how we feeling. Like, what is the prevailing feeling of black people right now? Because I hear they're saying to the Mexicans, "Oh, we're not gonna roll with y'all no more," or to the Latino population, or they're saying to white women, "Oh, we see you now. We don't trust you." But these are the same people. They've been the same people all this time.
Who's the same people?
White women are going to be white women. Latino people are going to be Latino. They're conservative.
I mean,
it's all good.
I mean, I think there was a change in Latino vote, right? But I think we have to stop being misled by the multicultural agenda. And guess what? I mean, I teach multiculturalism, and I think that there's a place for it, but I think that multiculturalism is important, right? But I think that it's being misused. It's being misused in the way that's being taught. So even the fact I've always been talking about this idea of Latino or Latina, and then what they made up in Latino or Latina people aren't really happy with it. In fact, I had a student, and she's from New York, and she was a sister of Latin descent, or Latina sister, and she Puerto Rican, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so excited! I never heard this word Latinx." And so I've had another sister of who would consider themselves Puerto Rican as well, who also said they didn't hear about it before. So then, but there's also obviously people who do not really embrace the term. But again,
what is these terms mean?
Again,
and where do they come from?
I mean, I think there are people from the community that do embrace the terms, but it's a very academic thing, and academia does what it does, especially when the liberal agenda is in place. And what I mean by that is it's about really just changing words and changing names. And we kind of jump on it. I'm not saying there's no utility in it, but we think liberation is changing words. It's like people are like, "Oh, don't call them homeless, call them unhoused." I mean, I guess I get it. But I mean, at some point, unhoused is going to sound really not too well. I mean, like all they think that the goal with these set of revolutionaries or liberals is just to change words to help people feel better.
Yeah, not refugee, but immigrant. It's always
always
a way to
like that's going to like really change the material condition of a people. I'm not saying it doesn't have any psychic value, but I mean, we got to do more than that.
We do.
And so going back to your question, you're saying so the feeling of our community.
It's like they're waiting for the shoe to drop.
I will say that personally myself, I'm cautiously, but also a little bit. I ain't gonna say a little bit. I feel like this is the time for us to embrace each other. I feel like this is the time to stand up or shut up. I feel like if it was ever a time to come together, this is it. It's a time to come together. And don't get it twisted, because I don't like to say that. I think we do come together. The problem is we come together with the wrong information. We come together with liberal, multicultural information. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with multiculturalism, but not well, let's think about it. Multiculturalism, which becomes I think we really need to reshape the way we teach those classes. I mean, I actually teach it different than the textbook myself. But what I'm saying is, it's time. It's time to do the work. I'm a little, if I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm a little excited. But that doesn't mean there's no level of caution that I have. I'm concerned. But again, as one who knows that some shiznick has to happen in order to ignite something greater, we have to pull the Band-Aid off.
It's coming.
The Band-Aid.
I heard a man say the same thing you said, that Trump is in there to finally make people realize that this thing is a sham and that we really gotta come together. It's the only way to win here.
I mean, because the reality is we're living too comfortable in hell.
Ooh. That's the reality. That's the check of the night. Living too comfortable in hell.
Yeah, we're living too comfortably in hell. So you know, I already knew we were in hell. So it's not like for me that I'm that concerned. I mean, I think that we've had Reagan and Bush again. I mean, Trump, like, I saw him and his henchmen though. That was an interesting interest inside the octagon, whatever you call it. I mean, he was walking squatted up. He was squatted up with his boys.
Yeah.
I mean, they about to tell us some things.
They coming.
I need black people to know that this is what it is. I mean, like, just because these people still existed when these other people were in the office. Now these people have some ability to change some things and cut out some things and rearrange some things, but we need some rearranging.
You do?
Yes, we need some rearranging.
Well, the JT Fact says, please define Black community, and do you also include people like Candace Owens, Clarence Thomas, and Byron Donalds in the Black community?
All right, JT, what it is, B?
What's up, JT? Welcome.
What do you say? Please define the Black community, and do you also include people like Candace Owens, Clarence Thomas, and Byron Donalds in the Black community? So they're Black. The problem is there's a variety of Black folk. So what you will call them is assimilationists, but that still is a Black identity. Some of us are miseducated. Some of us are we have self-hatred. Some of us is anti-white. Some of us are Afrocentric, and some of us are multicultural, and some of us most of us have a little bit of all that up in us. But what area really leads? And I think that some of these people, I don't know about Candace Owens or Clarence Thomas or any of those people. I don't know them, but some of these people, some of these conservatives, I would argue, mean us well. Not Clarence Thomas or Candace Owens per se. The reason why I can't get, maybe not. Maybe she does. I don't know. But what I'm saying is because and the reason why I say no, because Candace Owens seems to get stuck. She can be very bright and on point about this thing, but then she'll be lying about this thing, and she'll, like, for example, at one time she was so pro Trump, and then Trump made her upset. And then she started saying, I was holding all this in family, all guys, and and so on and so forth. And I just didn't want to say anything about him. But I noticed this behavior and this and that. So what I'm saying is, but people do that on the Democratic side as well. I am so frustrated by Roland Martin. I am so frustrated by people like even Sister Karen Hunter, who cannot really critique people. But look, guess what? A lot of at the end now, they're beginning to critique them. That when it was going on, no critique, no criticism, similar to Bernie Sanders, but Bernie Sanders is not the only one. But a lot of
critique nobody.
Roland Martin. I think Bernie Sanders can critique somebody.
He cannot.
Let's talk about it.
Maine has, I think, the 9th largest population of black men in prison, with 11, I think, less than 3% black population.
He's responsible for that.
Well, his state is housing a lot of black men, black people in jail.
Is he responsible for
No,
it?
he's not responsible, but the state is making money off black pain.
But let's say his policy, right? Let's say
they're making money off of black pain.
Well, yep, we talking about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Maine. What about his policies though? If his policies get pushed through, what do you think that would look like compared to someone like Kamala? Let's say hypothetically, someone like Bernie Sanders.
Think his ideology is so far from Kamala Harris.
The one she was running on. I'm talking about specific data points or specific policy. Like, you're saying you don't see any difference between them.
No.
Bernie Sanders.
They vote together. Bernie is in the demos.
Well, he did, but I'm saying, but when you speak, Bernie Sanders is more progressive than liberal.
On Tuesdays.
Well, I'm talking about what he's speaking about right now. I'm talking about, let's say all of them is telling the truth.
Okay.
Kamala speaks damn sure, really, especially this race. Kamala did speak more progressive at one time.
She's conservative this race.
This race, she was conservative. Mm-hmm. Bernie switched up and became a liberal. So I get it. I'm not fighting for the white guy. I'm not fighting for the white guy.
Sound like it.
Well, if you ask me who's more progressive, I would say he is.
Well, I'm saying he don't have no reason to be progressive.
You struggle with white people. So you can't give a fair analysis. I swear you can't, like, you can't. Well, you can't take one point and make that the thing, and you can't show me how he's connected to that or his policies are connected to that.
He represents the state. If they're making money from black pain, it's a problem.
So Kamala represents the country. Is she all the problem of the country? Is she just because of that? Hmm? If she was fighting, I'm talking about, like, for example, is there any politician that you like? That's a setup question. You laughing at it already. Is there any politician you like? Who? Brandon Scott. You like Brandon?
Why you sent me out?
I'm asking you a question. Do you like Brandon? What about Westmore? Do you like Westmore? Yes, you like Westmore.
I do not. Like
you like Westmore?
No.
You know how many people in Maryland, how many black men are being locked up in Maryland?
Another problem.
Yeah, it's like number one.
It's not number one, but you're right.
Hold up, it's high up there.
It's like 3.
Well, it's up there, Queen. Let's look. It's some stat. It's a stat. It's a stat. I'm talking about where they got the highest something in incarceration.
Yes,
I'm talking about number one. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
You're right. I don't think it's one anymore.
But I don't. It doesn't matter. It's still horrible.
It is horrible.
We could be talking about what city has the most murders, and we still who's the murder capital. But let's answer my man's question. Hold up.
The past year research has made it very clear Trump won because of racial resentment. Ooh.
Racial resentment? The research.
And what is racial resentment?
Okay. That's not a question. But that's a question for you.
Yeah, because
Baba, what's racial resentment?
What is that?
I think he's saying that white people are resentful of what has been going on in this country probably since 2010 or something like that.
Since Obama.
2008, something like that.
Since about him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's
valid.
But I think it's valid. But also, to be honest with you, if you wanted me to really answer the question, I see why they are. I see why they're resentful. Who wouldn't? As a populist, who would not be resentful?
Break it down.
With the way that liberals have created these ideas, the way they use identity politics. I'm not saying I agree with them who are resentful, but it's understandable.
What are you resenting?
You resent the fact that you're a poor white man and somebody telling you that you're privileged. You resent the fact that everybody in the world looks at you as being the oppressor when you feel oppressed yourself. You feel resentful because no one's taking class into account, but everybody's taking everything else into account. You're resentful. You're resentful because LGBTQ plus, black, brown, women, transgender, all these, but the poor white man in middle America, who is a great majority of this country, no one says anything about him. See, and I to myself, I have a problem with that because I think it's a recipe for division. I'm not saying you're friends. I'm not saying they don't want to kill you. But what I am saying is that those white men, if we can empathize, you ain't got to agree. If we could just empathize, I mean, I think you got to agree too, though. If you really empathize with it, like, hold up, man, white men run this world, but he poor. Like his white, he ain't even doing nothing with his whiteness.
But whose fault is that?
It's not his fault. It's a capitalistic country. It's a capitalistic country. There's only a few people who can literally be at the top. I know that's squinch your face. You think that the great majority of people, the great majority of the population is going to be at the top because they're white? That's when you don't have a class analysis. Somebody says, I saw something pop up, but Queen got quiet. Let's talk about it. Jump in the chat and don't hold back. Queen is holding back.
I'm not holding back because you got me over here looking crazy. Proper said the poor white man will unleash as much bloody hell as possible to try and get back on top of the social order.
The poor white man ain't never been on the top of the social order.
But he's been on top of black. He
was your whipper. Some of them.
That's what I'm saying. He was on top of black. That's his problem.
Like it's a fake position though. It's like I got white skin privilege.
He wanted back.
No. He never had it. No. That white man never had it. He come from generations of poor white people.
Woo.
What are we talking about?
But he's feeling like something else.
He's been tricked to believe that he's better than you because of his skin color, but he's still living in trailer parks and he's still living in the mountains and creating shacks and he got the opioid crisis and all these type of things happen to him. So he's mad.
He's hot
because you got his jobs in his mind. You took his job, Queen. You got an education. You want to call me privileged? My mother shooting heroin in the corner. You calling me privileged? That's a setup. I'm sorry, black people. I'm sorry, my brothers and sisters. I'm just telling you, if we can't understand the psychology, I know my man Cleo said, don't understand the psychology. I won't have that conversation. But the reality is, if we don't understand the psychology, we will continue to get played. I'm not saying you got to be their friends. But understand how he's being triggered and manipulated and used and fueled. Just like we're being manipulated and fueled about Latino brothers and sisters. And then also we got to realize the whole idea of how Latino or Latinx has been used and weaponized against us. There's like, we really think that's a race. And the more people talk about it, the more I'm frustrated about it. I've been frustrated about it for years. Like, what do you mean? Most of them do. Most of them, if I can stand corrected, do identify as white. And even if their brownness looks like yours, I've talked to them. Mm-hmm. When you come to this country and you have the option as a Latino to choose a race, and the majority chooses white. That is a game. That person can identify as white, but still don't get the privileges of being white. But there's something about whiteness
it's more attractive.
That's more attractive, but it's also something about having white people in majority that keeps white people, the quote unquote, I'm calling the super elite, quote unquote. I don't like the word elite because I don't think they're elite, but the 1%ers or the 1% of 1% of 1%, it keeps them in power, manipulating everybody else. Look, I ain't saying you guys don't. I ain't telling you guys go and pick up their heritage. I'm not saying you gotta go there and move out in Appalachia with them. I'm not saying you gotta go and do none of that. I'm not saying no hee-hawing and none of that. But what I am saying is, if we can't understand that we've always been played against each other, including Latino, Latina, Black, white, poor people, then we're not making a good analysis.
We've been played, we've been compared, we've been bamboozled. So you're saying it's a trick?
Yeah. I mean, this is not new. I mean, it only takes a little bit of it only takes real reasoning here. If you can't see that, you're not really reasoning.
Some people don't see it. They say these people are coming in, they're taking advantage of benefits.
They're being played.
They're getting checks. They're getting.
Who you talking about? Who you talking about?
When they're talking about Latino coming in the country and, people saying, you saying we're being played not to hate, but this is why they don't.
And some of the stuff that they're saying is just false. It's called, a lot of the stuff that we say, we can't even substantiate it. Mm-hmm. All this extra money that people are getting in, mm-hmm. and I'm talking about even white poor people. White poor people, they do have quote unquote skin privilege, but they still poor. Mm-hmm. They still don't benefit from the society past their skin, which gives them a little bit of something. Maybe they might not get put over from the cop as fast, but he's still hungry. He's still on heroin. His children still got low education. Might be better than our education, be honest with you. But they can't rise up like that. It's a percentage game. When we understand capitalism is a percentage game, then we will understand that the make-believe we have about white people being able to rise upwardly mobile is also a delusion. I'm not saying that some can't do it. Your boy, what's his name? The vice president supposedly was one of those guys. If you ever read his book, Hillbilly Elegy, very interesting book.
Probably.
You read it?
No.
Okay, really interesting book. I think the book is, honestly, some people challenge the book. I would have to look at it again. I think it's very insightful, though.
Okay. Well,
you don't have to agree with everything.
I think it's hard for oppressed people to look at white. Okay, it's hard for the oppressed people called Black people to look at the.
I like how you reframe that.
Their oppressors who are white, who are poor, who are the ones who are actually doing the oppressing, and have this thought that maybe you've been affected by this too. It's hard for us to see that, I'm sure. And it's crazy. It really is.
The whole,
if you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's hard to even digest.
It's the game.
It's a game.
It's the game that's been played on us.
On everybody. That's the sad thing. Not just Black people.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I said, yeah, us includes all of us.
We're all a tool. Yeah.
For the oligarchs.
Yep. Wow. For the people who are actually benefiting.
The people that are actually benefiting the greatest.
Because
everybody has a benefit and quote unquote privilege to some degree. But see, to me, I struggle with this idea of privilege sometimes because I think it's used too loosely. And then the same people who tell you that discard white men, the same people who discard, you know where I'm going, the same people who discard white men who, because they're white and they're men, they're not talking about class, how this person is being oppressed class-wise, but now they want to make black men, because they're men, privileged as well.
Yeah.
And I totally disagree with that. I think it's the most idiot. It doesn't go with their own rationale.
It diminishes the story too. It's not the truth.
Yeah, it diminishes the story, and it's not true, and you can't quantify it. I don't care. Look, we had some of the most eloquent scholars in the community, but we also got to realize that people, a lot of us are out here trying to heal, and we're hurt. We're trying to heal other people. We're trying to help other people, and we're hurt. And I'm telling you, a lot of that came out of all the feminist movements, and even including now black feminist movements, and also these black manosphere movements. I'm saying, look, everybody's been played. Black men are the most oppressed. Black women are the most oppressed. You know, Latinos are look, come on, man. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Where's the questions at, family? Let's talk.
We need some questions. Oh, that's something. So we all being played out here in society. So what does that play into our relationships too? Because when you look at relationships, and especially we see the statistics, especially in the black community, of black women, the amount of black women who are not in relationships, black women are unlikely to marry. How does that help us as a community when the women are alone? Especially in this time where we're feeling fearful and we're feeling all of these things.
It helps the powers to be again. It helps them. You know, it doesn't help us, but it helps black women in a very superficial way. It makes them feel like their pockets are, you know, in fact, the reality is black women, a lot of times black women in these positions literally think that, how could you feel good in thinking that you're better than your black brother? The reality, how can you actually feel good about that? Like literally.
You think that women like that feel good about that?
Say it again.
You think that's really happening?
It is. They have movements. There are movements out here. Abandon black men because they ain't no good. Black men because they ain't upwardly mobile. Look, I even talk to sisters every day. Our sisters got some of the most unrealistic ideas. I'm trying. Let me say this. People tell me things like, if he ain't making 6 figures, he broke. If he ain't making, he only made 80,000. He only making 80. He only making 70. I'm not saying this is all sisters. I am telling you how deluded some of us are. I got a degree. Literally think that their bachelor's degree is so much greater than this man with no degree. And it's not, to be honest, I remember when I was at Sojourner Douglas College and my professor, Dr. Marion Stanton, that's a sister. She was like, ladies, you have to understand what is going on and how our black men are being put down. You know, she talks so eloquent, right? And she taught, and the sisters up in there, like she was, and I didn't even understand that I didn't even understand it at that time. What she was, I mean, it was really enlightening, and I liked that she was doing it. But the sisters in my class, look, if you go to college, you better know as a black man, you're going to hear some things from our sisters, because you are a minority as a black man in lots of colleges and institutions, especially the higher you go. And then I talk to black men and black women all the time. The black woman at Social Security, you know about them? Yeah. They get a position for another sister and pour her up. And I'm telling you, there's feuds inside of these governmental organizations where brothers are feel like they're pushed down. Well, he didn't get, and you know what they say? I worked hard for this. You know, if he didn't go and get his education, I can't help it. See, because they have people who rise up the rank through their work ethic as well. And then they'll come in and they'll outrank them because of this. And it's like, okay, I worked hard. He didn't. And not understanding the societal, and I get it how a person can feel that way, but with little empathy though.
Because we get caught up in the competition and the foolishness of society too. And I think a lot of times we do get caught up in that, and it affects us in a very negative way. Papa says, going on the sisters, LOL. Some of them are out there on a ledge and a limb of reality with a nose higher than a giraffe's neck. All right, Papa, watch it.
and I protect my sisters. I understand how they can be frustrated. I do. But the reality is we have to know that they're being played against us. And that is where we fail. They think that somehow they don't understand. Many times they think that on their own merit, because they trust this system, that somehow that they don't have a leg up in the system the way it was designed. The way it's designed is it's more designed for a sister to rise than a man. And I mean, even the temperament of a man. I showed the brothers of Raising in the Sun some years ago in a rites of passage. And you see how that black man was just out there trying to get his business together. He just want to be rich. And his wife's like looking out for him for real. Like, babe, just be a part of the system. Like, just go and work for Mr. Bobo. And he like, she can't even empathize. That's ripping his heart out. It's killing him from inside out. But it makes sense to what she's saying. It does. It makes sense because she just wants them to be safe, sound, and secure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not knowing that is going against that man's nature. That man, like, I can't shuck and jive for Bobo. She like, babe, this is for our children. This is for our future. This is for, and she means well.
She meant to sacrifice, she's saying.
It's like taking the warrior out of a man. And in this genderless society, a man is supposed to be just neutrally gendered now. I mean, and I'm not, look, and I think men need to, we need to tap into our emotions. But it's to some degree, if we're not careful, we're just trying to make our men wimps. I am telling you that academia in some ways makes us wimps, or it makes us too daggone patriarchal, which is also too daggone masculine and extreme.
Yes, true.
But in the liberal arts or these liberal sphere of things, men become very soft. And I'm not saying soft that you gotta be macho hitting your chest.
So that's
I'm
by
just
design, you're saying?
It's killing the warrior spirit in him.
Wow.
And you're called stupid if you uprise. You see, it's the system plays against you. Anything that you do that is against the grain is seen as an act of violence. It's seen as a buffoon. It's seen as hypermasculine. It's seen as this. It's seen as that. I am not saying that brothers don't have to get themselves together, because they do. They do. We do. Let me say that. We do. But sisters need to get themselves together too. But we both need to understand how we're being played against you. I mean, some sisters out here literally think that they need to get up. They don't realize they think it's just an illusion of why black men, and some conservatives the same way. Oh, well, black men just need to pull themselves up from the bootstraps. What? The only way you can say something so foolish, I'm sorry, Booker T. Washington, but I'm talking about the common day people. The only way you can believe that one can pull themselves up from the bootstrap as a collective, a community. I'm not talking about one person, because I'm not talking about myself. Well, you did it. Dr. King said that don't tokenize me. See, we know these things, but we don't understand what the hell we're saying. We don't even realize that go ahead.
It's just hard to understand, like, as a professional or even like as a black woman who's working hard, who's going to school, getting educated, and then they get in a space and really being able to even infiltrate the space is what the system will allow, even though you have all of that. Like, it's really, some of your work ethic means something, but it's more the system allowing you through.
Right. Your work ethic, I think, does mean something.
It makes you present.
Like for me,
without your work ethic, you won't be present.
I believe my work ethic meant something. I think my intellectual prowess meant something.
Sure.
But at the same time, there had to be something in me that went with what the system said I'm supposed to do. There had to be some acquiescence to some degree. Even if it was the spook, as Bible would say, that's set by the door. But the reality is they will indoctrinate you. I went in black, and I am telling you, those liberals, that liberal stuff will sink into your mind. I'm not saying it's all bad, but what I am saying is it will have you believing in them more than, yeah, you'll believe you have allies for real if you're not really careful.
Yeah, you're not clear.
I'm not saying that no one's an ally. I'm just saying most of them aren't. And most of them just talk about Oprah and stuff. Oh, I love Oprah. You know, I love Oprah. Oh, yeah, Oprah. I mean, it's like, and they think that, like, that's their way of connecting with black students. And
like, we don't connect with Oprah. How was that?
We like anybody that looks like us that we think is filthy rich.
True, we do that.
We don't have to connect with them. We let them use us, abuse us, misuse us. It doesn't matter when it comes to black people who are wealthy and rich. Like, we let them have passes all the time because we just want to see us in the positions that white people have, rather than creating positions for ourselves.
Oh, you preaching now. So you're saying we are enamored with these exceptionally rich, the billionaires, the Jay-Z, the Beyonce.
Family, give us some likes. Come on now, give us some likes, some shares. Come on, share this with the people. Come on, let's get this thing funky and going. Let's get this party started right. Let's get it started quickly. Let's get this. All right.
So you're saying that we're in love with these people with all this money because we want to see our people in the places where black or white folks are really in.
Yeah, to us that is liberation. That to us that is I made it. To us, seeing we don't care what we do to get there, because we then will say and give them the past that white people have done it too. Like, is that supposed to work for us?
Well, that's what we say.
Is that really supposed to work?
They did it.
Yeah, I mean, I heard y'all talking about when they're getting puffy. Well, you know, I think it's conspiracy. No, if he's doing all that, his ass need to go down. I don't care.
Bye-bye.
I have empathy for him. He was hurt, traumatized, and grew up in the hood. Yes, I get it.
Crazy family.
But the problem is we help create these and keep and maintain these people because we let people have passes. The wrong folk, the wrong people get to keep getting passes. I'm talking about not even at that level. I'm talking about on our levels, on different community levels. We keep letting people have passes because they talk good, smell good, dance good, shut good, jive good, speak good. And someone don't even speak good. They just can look good to you, whatever it is. You know, like, I mean, it was so funny. I don't know if I want to say this. I mean, I was on a panel some time ago, and it was like, this person was I don't even know if this person was a real celebrity. Let me just say that. Well, I guess this person was a celebrity one time. Let me say that. They were a celebrity at one time, I guess.
At one time.
Like, nobody knows. Like, it's like a ex-athlete type of celebrity, you know, like you might not know that person type of thing, but the person got up and read every line of a 6-page speech, and before like literally, like, this is about mental health. Why? And why am I on the same panel? Why am I just on the panel? Why didn't I shut that thing down? Why? I know you could have thought this person was a good speaker.
6 pages.
6 pages, literally.
Wow.
If not more. I am saying the eyes hardly left the pages. I am not saying that the person put any great, like some people can read. You ever look at Farrakhan or the Nation of Islam, they can read well. No. This wasn't the thing. This wasn't how it went. This ain't how it went down. It was horrible. But because this person was a somewhat of a celebrity, I don't know how long it lasted, but and I guess they probably, they like maybe the way that, all that type of thing. But I'm just saying, we got it twisted up in these streets.
Well, it says, man. I mean,
where the questions at, y'all?
We got one.
Okay.
JT said, how do you balance your concern for other non-Black oppressive groups against the issues concerning African Americans?
How do I balance my concerns for non-Black oppressed groups? Okay.
That's white, Asian.
Well, personally, me, it's not much to have concern for people. I think literally my concern doesn't even have to be for them. My concern is for us. But if we continue to be tricked to look at certain people as the enemy that aren't truly the real enemy, I'm focused. I'm taking back my power to focus on the real enemy. When I'm focused on poor white people, I mean, they likely will come and try to get a noose and hang you if you end up on the wrong side of town, because they, as Baba said, they're resentful. But these aren't really your problems. These aren't the problems that's showing up every day in your lives. Especially if you live in these major metropolitan areas on the East Coast, like most of us on this call.
I don't see a lot of poor.
They scared of us on the East Coast. Then you go out in Pittsburgh in the middle, they don't respond the same as white people in this side.
Idaho.
Yeah, they don't like
Utah.
You can't just buck at them.
Nah. Arkansas, Mississippi, be careful.
Yeah.
Texas.
So what I'm saying is, it's not about. It's actually the balance is it gives me more clarity. So I'm not focusing on them, overly focused on them as the enemy, because they're just not the greatest enemy. They're not the greatest concern. Now, instead of focusing on the misdirected target, I focus on the powers that be. So that's how I balance my concern. But I do have a human, I am a human being, and I do have concern for humanity in general. But I do practice a race first philosophy. That doesn't exclude other people. That doesn't exclude gender, and it doesn't exclude economics or finances or capitalism or what have you. It doesn't exclude those things. Race, class, gender doesn't exclude those things. It doesn't exclude class and gender, even sexuality or sexual orientation. All those things are important. But I focus on what it takes for us to come up. As Dr. Malefi Kiriasanti says in Afrocentricity, by liberating Black people, I liberate the world. But again, I'm just going to close out by saying the same thing I said already. It gives me my energy back by not being misdirected and having anger, to a certain type of anger or misdirection on people who don't really have power themselves. They might have white skin privilege, but they ain't had no power either. They have no power. There's classes of white people, and they ain't it.
So how do we? I definitely struggle with that type of empathy.
You ain't gotta be empathetic. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I get what you said. To even understand that they're poor and oppressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
The oppressive part. It takes a lot to digest that type of empathy for folks who are in control and still not taking control?
They're not in control. It's only a few people in control. Kamala Harris has more access to control as a black woman than they do.
And that's the problem.
Obama has more access to power than they do.
So that's what the racial.
That's really why they pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they are carrying it out in the name of white supremacy, the true white, quote unquote, oligarchs, oppressors, or what have you. I mean, I'm not saying be friends with Buck. Buck might kill you because Buck is deluded. All right. But what I am saying is by focusing your attention on Buck, you keep him in your peripheral. But the real oppressors have power. Buck ain't got no power. Buck ain't even got no teeth.
Buck don't even have no teeth.
I'm sorry for being stereotypical, but I'm trying to paint the picture.
So Buck ain't the problem. It's the people.
Buck can become a problem on an individual level if you turn down his road and he got his shotgun out.
Yeah, he's a symptom. Bro.
Yeah, he's a symptom, and he's also he's just like he's a symptom, an opportunity, because Buck is misled and misguided as well.
So why do we struggle so hard with focusing on just our community? Why are we always looking outside of our community?
I don't think.
I wonder that, we always have the struggle.
Give me an example of what that looks like.
Other people.
Say it again.
Like even to look at other oppressed folks
Mm-hmm.
and have and struggle with their path,
Mm-hmm.
than to just focus on coming out of your hole.
I don't think that most of us do that.
We're not good at that. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think most of us have empathy for white people.
I think that's
no, I don't. I think it's the other way around.
I think that makes sense though, for us not to have too much empathy for them.
Okay.
But I think that we also don't have enough empathy for ourselves in a lot of ways. Like we look past our needs sometimes to include others. We kind of downgrade our issues to.
I think you need to talk in the mic though.
I think we downgrade our issues to be inclusive. Inclusive. Yeah, to include others who are suffering. We have a hard time focusing.
Where do you see that? Where do you see that at? Tell me.
When I listen,
you can help me though. Help me see that.
When I'm listening to when you just politics alone, when you listen to these pundits, and I'm listening to the black, the
conservatives maybe
or the liberals, they're talking about everybody, and
they're talking about white poor men.
Poor.
You ever heard of poor white men for real?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't hear them.
You hardly hear about black men.
They're muted.
Look, you hardly even hear about black men until they want to throw something on us.
That's true.
You don't hear about no goddamn poor white men.
That's true. You don't.
That's why they voted for these people.
You're right.
Nobody hears about poor white men. I'm not the white man advocate, but I'm just telling you that's the part of the game, and that's part of to keep them fueled and thinking we the enemy. Just like you hear, just like black people are now beginning to see Latinos, and even Haitians, and even Jamaicans, and even Africans as trade outsiders that are coming to take our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to say that black people, that black Americans don't deserve that there is not a need for black people in America. Because I think other places do disrespect us as well. I do. And I'm saying that sometimes they come and they do reap the benefits off of us. I'm telling you, the people, the number one person, the greatest oppressed people right now, the white women and LGBTQ plus white LGBTQ plus. This is what people are looking at. And the reality is a lot of them are wealthy even. I'm saying, again, I think we think they're white women. I think we include them in. I think we wrongfully include them in.
Yep, I think so. But I don't think we would get any concessions if they weren't included.
And I ain't talking about the poor white women. I'm talking about all these liberal, white, super duper educated women that we think they're oppressed. And they married to these white rich men.
Not oppressed.
I go to school. I've gone to school with them. I've taught with them. And you should hear how they talk about their husbands. Their husbands are doing well. And they're doing well. And you should hear what they call not doing well. You should hear them. What they said, oh, I'm not making any money. What? You should hear what they're saying isn't any money.
Really?
Yeah, compared to what we think is money. Oh, I mean, like even some of the teachers and stuff. Oh, no, they're not saying they're really broke. They're just saying in comparison to if you were an engineer. Or comparison, but yeah, it's very interesting. They have ways to make money that black people just don't have.
Yeah.
You know how many therapists even say, I don't take insurance, white people. They charge $200-$300 a client. They don't have no money for an hour. Yeah, there's no money, but they charge $200-$300 an hour. A $150. Let's say the lease is $150. We ain't talking about New York City. We talking about Maryland. Maryland is pretty expensive too, but $150 an hour. Let's say that's the lease.
No insurance.
No, I don't take insurance. That's how they get to do that.
We can't do it.
No, we can, but we have to change some things. If like, for example, a lot of, like, you're not gonna be able to serve the people, particularly that you may want to serve if you don't take insurance.
You gotta take the insurance.
Some of us don't. Some of us follow that motto as well, but some of us want to serve our community, like me.
You gotta take insurance.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like there's not black professionals out here either, and they pay out of their pocket as well. But even black professionals and white professionals aren't in the same bracket financially.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't care if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a professor, or what.
Money's different, baby.
It's a little different. I'm not saying that black folks ain't, and the same black folks in these fields aren't really complaining, but they probably they can complain.
They can complain
because they're getting
the same.
Yeah. If you're a realtor, you're not. I mean, I'm not saying on a case. I'm not saying. Say it again. On per capita, they're not doing the same.
You're not gonna be
you might get one person that might do something a little better. You might can even include me in some things, right? But the reality is, I don't look at myself as I'm just a token. Don't use me as a token. I'm not saying if you use me as a token. Don't look, you doing no, don't use me.
Don't use you.
Don't use me. Dr. King said, look, we don't need no token Negroes. Like, no. Oh, because King went to what? Harvard or something? Where did he go?
He went to Morehouse.
He went to Morehouse and he educated, like, whoever, like, don't use him as a token. Black people are doing good.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they say. That's a token. Look at you. You're doing good. This ain't about me. And I ain't even doing that great. Because, look, everything I do, I put back in the community. But, I'm doing great. Let me take that back. I'm doing great because I'm doing the work in the community. So let me reframe that. If I wasn't doing the work in the community, I wouldn't be doing great, no matter how much money I was making.
I think is our problem that everything we do equates to how much money we're making.
In this country, that's a problem. Money is a major part. There's some other aspects. Yeah, I mean, where you live and all that has to do with money. How tall you are, how short you are, how brown you are, how light you are. You know, what's your waist size, your dress size, your shoe size. So
you're always augmenting yourself here. You're always trying to fit yourself into a space.
That's what we're doing. That's why DEI is really interesting. You know, trying to be included. Like that is revolutionary to people now. That was never revolutionary to real people who are really thinking from liberational frameworks.
They don't want to be included.
Yeah, like when do we? When
not being included?
This is what woke wants, though. That's why I'm saying woke and black. I'm sorry, Queen, for pointing. That's why I'm saying woke and black consciousness is different. Like I don't care what Dr. Such and Such is saying over there. Woke and black consciousness is different. Just knowing that oppression exists is not enough.
Some people don't know how to woke and black consciousness is the same to a lot of people.
That's because the black conscious folk have somehow believed that woke represents them. But people who know that they're woke don't even believe. They call black consciousness probably hoteplers. They don't. They think, you know,
I think that's more extreme.
They think it's corny.
Corny. Yeah.
They think you too black. Yeah, well, you African even. You why you? What's up? We not from Africa. We just oppressed.
Well, you know that just came up with a major rapper, Trick Daddy. He said he's not African. He hasn't been to Africa. He doesn't know anything African.
I mean, I don't expect no more from him. I mean, he's Trick Daddy. I mean, what the hell I'm gonna get mad at him for?
What's his name?
Trick Daddy.
So that changes it. That says it.
I mean, like, what do you expect? He's not. That's part of our condition. We think that because a person made a few dollars, if he did, that somehow his brain went up. We think his IQ went up when his dollars went up. That's what I was talking about last week. I'm not saying the man is not bright, but somehow now he's a theorist. And see, the problem is we literally have people like Trick Daddy and Luke and different people. Look, Kamala's sitting down with Luke. You hear me? Look, all the black intellectuals should be very highly appalled or feel disrespected.
Like Luke, but I think you're right.
Like,
you know, that's a problem.
They want to be stars. They've been
why would she even do that? Why wouldn't she sit with scholars?
What's up with your scarf?
My scarf is. I'm telling the world how cool it is.
Okay, look, you got
my scarf is on the stand, y'all.
Okay, I got you.
I'm cooling it off.
I hope they can hear you all over there looking like what's going on. Give me the next question.
Listen, say in the chat. I know you can hear me. They can hear me. Let me see. Doc, you're doing great because your parents poured into you. That's a privilege not everyone has. Pop Secret said, I don't want to hear that from you.
Who is Pop Secret?
I don't know, but he coming for you. He said, listen, you're doing great because your parents hold on.
Who is Pop Secret?
I don't know.
Hey, tell Pop Secret. Thank you. But tell me more. Pop, come on.
I'm getting ready to give him the link. Listen, you guys.
Come on, let's talk about that because Pop Secret might not be meaning anything. I mean, my parents did pour into me. That's true. That's true. But I'm not sure if what. Well,
he's saying that is why you are able to achieve.
That's not true. That's not completely true.
Okay. Why is it not completely? Because
America has. My parents have helped me.
Parents matter.
They do.
Yes.
But let's have this conversation because I can see it's going there. The problem is this. This country doesn't take anybody's children. What is it called? They leave no. What is it called? How did they say it? There's no. They leave. They want to victimize everybody. Do you know something? Do you know that the second generation of after are less likely to be upward mobile after, like, for example, middle class black people, quote unquote. It depends on how we're measuring what greatness is, by the way, right? But we're talking about upward mobility or middle class this or what have you, that type of thing. The next generation is more likely not to make it there. Wow. Our children are less likely to even make it to where we've made it. and you can do great. This world has a way of capturing the brightest minds. You know, the brightest minds their parents have poured into them. You know, this society takes no prisoners. How did he say it? How did they say it?
Takes no prisoners. That's it.
That doesn't fit what I'm trying to say though, but it sounds good.
Well, leaves no stone unturned. Is that what you
Well, yeah, but I do say parenting is important.
Parenting matters.
But I do understand that some people utilize that as a crutch. Why they aren't? Because there's people. Black people are very resilient, and people can get so much from their parents. Poured in, I think, is very appropriate term. But I guess I have to understand more, because some people get a lot and do nothing with it, and some people get nothing and do a lot with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It all self-actualization has a lot to do with it, but parents absolutely matter. But there are people who've had parents pour into them and they've done nothing. So it's a heck of an argument in so many different ways. But when you're 50% there, if your parents
I agree
are pouring into you.
I agree.
That's a plus.
I agree with whoever Pop.
I put the link in.
I agree, but
come see us, bro.
My only problem with that is
JT Proper. You never came. Come see us.
My only thing with that is sometimes people use that as a reason why they're not doing great. That's why I'm struggling with that a bit.
Yeah, I mean, people do use it as and I think sometimes the trauma of it is the reason why you don't do great.
Yeah,
like you never get out of that.
But you know
that kind of vortex.
Let me tell you the other thing though.
Parents, because I came from parents who didn't have parents.
Yeah, but the other thing is this: if you ever look at children that grow up in the same household, and it depends on a lot of things. It does have to do with nurture, but it also has to do with nature. Yeah. Because, and some people would say it has to do with the position in the family. Middle child, first child, last child. And if you ever go to families and you ever work with families, there's a lot of people come from the same households. I'm going to be honest. My family, to be honest, we're doing good. You know, I'm not saying it's without struggle, but for the most part, we are doing good. Now, I will say that we can do better, because this society takes no whatever.
Prisoners.
Somebody give us the term. It leaves no.
Oh, it's a term.
Yeah, it's something. But nonetheless, this society tries to creep in to everybody's households.
Yeah, it's no favorites.
It crept into Farrakhan's household. It crept into a lot of people's households. You know, I mean, maybe Farrakhan wasn't there. I'm not sure, but he got, you know, it's just, I'm not sure. But it is true that we do need parents to help us feel safe. But what is even more true, that we have, even if the parents were safe, that we, in the way that we perceive things, that we felt safe, because one can receive the same level of
and don't feel safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, just because I'm a psychotherapist, I sit here and I see the fallacies that some children, adult children now, have made up in their minds due to the onslaught via media or different mediums to actually create trauma in children that have evolved to a grown adults that still have wounds from their childhood, and how that is impacting them. But lots of it is fallacy. Some of it is real. It's a lot. But we can all heal.
We all can heal.
We have to do the work. You know, I mean, I could tell you easily I could have been somebody else. I could have easily gone another way. That's why it's not that. I could have made one decision. I can tell you one decision that I made one time. I'm talking about literally made that could have changed the whole trajectory of my life. And it would have had nothing to do with my parents. Because the same guy that's sitting here today could have been locked up for somebody being murdered.
Yeah, I think a lot of that too with the.
I'm saying literally, that could have been a reality of mine.
Yeah.
That is how, see, I had great parents. I still went to schools in Baltimore City. I still had people trying to pull up on me. Yeah. I still had the need to feel protected. I still did tell my now brother-in-law and my next door neighbor, they was messing with me. And then they start putting on latexes and say, all right, let's go. And I drove the car. Like, oh my God.
It happened.
But God knows it worked out for me. But then the dudes heard about it and came up to the school. My homecoming, when I was homecoming king. And then they pulled up on me. And then my neighborhood came when I'm trying to say, and protected me. But when I'm trying to tell you, my life could have easily been different. And it would have had nothing to do with my parents.
It can happen to any of us.
So again, just because so there are some of us who really haven't been nurtured. There's some of us who have been nurtured, and you'll talk to us that still, I'm talking about who did 20 years. Yeah. Because these streets.
It's true.
Not the streets, but the people who create the conditions that's going on in the streets.
It's rough.
The society.
Yeah, the society is rough.
The oligarchs.
So one question I always want to ask is, as a country, are we fierce enough to change? Are we fierce enough as a country to change and be better?
Fierce enough?
Yeah, I mean, like, can we get away from what capitalism is doing to us? Can we get away from what the isms have done to us? Can we get away from what food is doing to us? All of these systems that have, and all of us in some way is pressing us. Are we fierce enough to say enough?
No, I don't think so. Not right now. I think some of us would be, but most of us aren't feeling the pressure enough, and a lot of us are more scared than anything. We cannot discount the trauma of losing a king. We can't discount the trauma of losing an ex or El Haj Malik Shabazz. We can't discount the trauma of losing
Evers.
Yes, Mega Evers, right? Mm-hmm. We can go on and on. We can't even, although Garvey died, we cannot discount what it was for him to get deported
before he died. All the trauma he went
through. Yeah. We can't,
being expelled and all of those things.
And all the other people that don't have these big names. Yeah. We can't discount the trauma of, or the fear that we have due to all of the examples, even those in schools who were made examples. I mean, literally, lots of us, especially when I'm talking about black men, I really had to tap into brothers and around, like, I had to really tap my mind into what it's like to be a young black man. And sometimes it sounds like people are making excuses and saying that young black man is literally fighting the system in his eyes. Like he does. Like he's so frustrated with being oppressed and poor that he's going to take and do the only thing he think he can take and do to get out of that condition. And that is anti-establishment. It is not legal. But he's still not really saying, I mean, because he's so hurt and so frustrated with being oppressed that he really can't really care about the other destruction that is causing. All he know is, it's like 50 Cent says, get rich or die trying. And he really can't care. He's not caring about nobody else.
Or even himself too.
He's really, I challenge that just a bit.
The destruction or what can happen in his life.
To some degree, but
just live right in that moment.
But to some degree, I challenge those ideas as well. I challenge those ideas a bit because people tell me they don't love themselves. I don't really believe that. People are trying to do the best thing they can do to take care of themselves. Whether that is drugs, people are like, they don't love themselves. No, they literally are trying to take care of themselves the best way they know how.
Even a drug addict.
Drugs was an option to help me not feel this pain. I love myself so much I don't want to feel this.
Wow.
I love myself so much I don't want to feel this.
That's a way to look at it. Like, I love myself so much I'm gonna get high so I don't feel the pain.
Yes. I want to feel good.
No one thinks like that. They think like, oh, they just want to get high and do nothing with their life. People running from their hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So it's when you think of things differently, you approach things with more empathy. You're able to really look at society and look at what we're going through and what people are going through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way that we look, you know, how we look at society and folks who are not doing well in society is if they're bad. If you get high, you're bad. If you're homeless, you're a problem.
Family, like, share, subscribe.
You know,
like, share, subscribe.
Please do.
If you're on YouTube and you have Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler, make sure you go over there to Black Box Radio on YouTube and subscribe. Because I'm not sure how long we're gonna stay over here on Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler. If y'all don't go over there and give my sister some love over there, we're gonna just go over there. You know what I mean? But go over there, like open up another browser window.
Yeah.
Go over there, like, share, subscribe. Family, throw some questions,
please,
in the chat. As Queen say,
don't hold back.
Yes. And we appreciate you riding with us tonight.
This is a good little pop-up. Just try to pop in and
try to pop in. Yeah.
The end of this year is coming.
I know Queen I cut off, but I'm
2025 is coming.
2025 is coming.
Yeah.
So
and we got some new stuff coming to this country, and I'm just wondering how people are feeling. We know fear is a thing. We know change is a thing. We hear the cabinets of Trumpy, who he's putting in space to make decisions for our country.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually scary.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do when you get something new? Don't you bring your friends with you? I tell folks, when you go into a new office, do you take strangers or you take your friends? So don't get mad when he bring his friends. I don't care if they got credentials. He doesn't have any.
Some of them don't either. So
yeah, if you don't have none and you have the highest office, you shouldn't worry about anybody else having it. Correct?
I mean, he went to MIT.
He went to where?
MIT.
No, he went to Yale.
Oh yeah, one of them.
Yeah, he went to the beauty school. I'm not
beauty school.
He should have went to the.
He went to Yale.
No, he went to the.
I thought he went to the business school.
The one at Wharton.
That's Wharton. Okay, Wharton. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
His father had enough money for that. He's not a business.
He's saying he's an
Ivy Leaguer. But if you don't have credentials, why? I don't know why we're expecting his cabinet to have credentials.
So we respect Ivy Leagues, and we think that Trump somehow represents that. Oh, look, George Bush.
Yeah, like these folks are supposed to be super smart. That's what scares me. Like then you talk about your Ivy League, but then you tell me George Bush.
That's the part of the problem with DEI though. Like,
it's not smart.
Like we literally overlook, and this is part of the problem I'm talking about. We overlook our brightest minds who even decide not to go to Ivy Leagues, who may even decide to go to a HBCU or something like that, because even look at him. Even Kamala, they just disrespecting her because she went to Howard. People are calling her empty. I'm not saying she's the brightest thing. I'm not. But what I am saying is she has something going on inside of there.
Yeah, she's not dumb.
I mean, they calling her a shell of a person.
I know these people say something
Like she has nothing. That's literally, this is what you're hearing, but you're not hearing this about Trump.
Mm-mm.
Now, if you think Trump got something, I would. I'm
Tell me
sorry.
what it is.
I'm not. Look. I'm not pro either one of them, but
I want to know what
I would literally put my money on Kamala intellectually than Trump.
I would too. Any day.
You know, I mean, he
day,
has some
every day.
other skills that she doesn't, but
She got those too, but he has those better. The crookery skills, they both have.
not necessarily the crookery.
He
I'm
had
talking about
tools.
he has more a better ability to pull people in.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He's a better manipulator.
Yes. I mean, he's a little bit more polished with his level of narcissism is top notch.
It's top notch, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been there for a minute. So I mean, this is what I think. These are the things that's going on in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And economics. I don't think we figured out that economics works very well as a group. That's one of the things that haven't been. We're not talking about group economics. We're not talking about. We're caught up in the dream, the American dream: buy a house, do this, but they control that too.
Well, I think we'll all. I mean, not all. Look, I'm sorry. I'm here for it. I'm sorry. I mean, I hope us the best. But I don't think that black people are chumps.
No, we're not chumps.
You know, and I don't really think this will be a fight with just black people. I just don't think that's where we are in 2020. There's 24, yeah, but I mean, I don't think we're chumps. I think that we don't trust ourselves. We don't know our capabilities. We haven't been pushed. I don't know if he'll push us. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if he will. But I don't know. I don't know what he'll do.
We'll see. We're going to see.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be fine. I told you this before this, doing this, and after this.
When I say fine, though, I say fine. I agree. But when I say fine, I just want to be real. I just think we have no other choice to be fine.
I think we have no other choice, but then I think the other choice could be to crumble too.
Yeah, I mean,
fall apart. I don't think we'll do that.
What I mean is,
choices.
I'm saying even if things go up in flames, I'm telling you,
we're gonna be okay.
We'll be fine. No, we have to deal with some stuff.
Yeah.
We have to deal with some trauma. We will.
We're gonna pack more, eh? More trauma to come.
This might not be the season, but to answer your other question, do we have it in us? Oh, the conditions aren't set for us to really do the thing that you're speaking about. No, I mean, it's too comfortable for us.
Well, we're gonna see. It's about to get a little uncomfortable. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know what level of uncomfortability it will take for us to say, I need to start galvanizing with my own people.
Do you think that?
I don't know what level it will take.
Do you think that it was uncomfortable 4 years ago, before 4 years ago?
No.
Okay.
No.
But you remember everybody was talking every day about Trump? Every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was
still was comfortable.
It was, but in their minds, just because he was there,
it was a problem.
They were uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about how those white people felt when Obama was in there,
and
Biden being his representative,
mm-hmm.
and then Kamala almost getting a chance.
But we're gonna see what Trump does.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So you rather play with somebody that dangerous?
Yes.
Wow. And that's what happened.
I mean, because this is where we at.
Mm.
The thing swings like it swings.
Well, we're
very spiritual until Trump comes. I'm a very logical person. So The same spiritual people that say everything happened for a reason. What's going on?
What's the reason there?
So I'm going to be what my spiritual elders and mothers and fathers and babas and mamas say. Everything happened. Look, every black person I know say that.
Yeah.
So what are we worried about?
That's right. Get up. What's up with y'all?
Everything happened. I'm black. I'm black.
Everything happened.
No, I'm really black. But the problem is I really listen to what we say. And I also often listen to see, is that real for real? So I'm able to juxtapose when you say everything happens for a reason on this side. And now if everything happens for a reason, then there's a reason Trump is there. And I believe it.
There's a reason.
I think it was inevitable.
I told you they was gonna put
it's inevitable. I'm saying some of what we talked about earlier was and is the reason why, as Bob also spoke about, why Trump is back in there. I don't see why we don't. I do see why we don't understand that. But the reality is, I was just thinking a few weeks back. Like, I think even the way that this is not my lane, but I'm not even sure about these every 4-year elections. Like, everybody loves them. Let's give them 2 years. Let's lessen the years and stuff. Like, what can a person literally do sustainable in 4 years or 2 years? And like we don't want any.
That's why they say give them 4 more years to finish up.
We don't want any dictators. I mean, you get 4 years to do this to make everybody mad on this side, so that they can turn around and for 4 years to get mad at them on this side. Then go on and maybe you get 8 years if you didn't do too much of nothing.
They got mad at all of the Republicans.
Yeah.
So they got all the.
I think she's trying to buy 2 computers this week.
Oh my God.
I think she tried to buy 2 computers this week.
I'll see the airway to the ground. Ooh, baby, okay.
Yeah. So look. I want the computer you buy. You dropped mine.
Ooh, I gotta keep my foot still, guys. But yeah, I think that we're struggling. We're struggling with a lot of stuff. But we can't go back to our old sayings, No,
this ain't no old saying. That's what we said last week. Don't act like we didn't just say that last week at the church. There ain't no old saying. That's a real black religious spiritual saying. Everything happens for a reason, and I believe it.
Okay.
I think everything is ordered in the universe. The universe balances itself out. I'm sorry, Trump is just a part of it. We can't get rid of all the sides and parts of this.
So he's a balance. So he's a balancer.
Yes.
He is supposed to happen.
Yes.
So
he happened, right?
He happened, and he's happening again.
Nothing's a coincidence. Isn't that what y'all spiritual people say? Look.
Yeah, God has it all
planned. Omnipresent, omniscient.
I don't think people want to hear that right now. They don't want to hear that. You talking foolishness.
Omnipotent.
God thought it out.
And I'm not playing, because the God piece is one thing, but in a spiritual sense, or just a true cultural, ecological, whatever sense you want to make it, things have to balance themselves out. The only way.
So Trump is a balancer. That's what you're saying.
He is, especially unless you have some disruption in the system. The system will continue to swing back and forth. I say the jig it's not up. It's just a game against us. Like, you can't tell me that every 4 years is going to help us not continuously vacillate from one end to the other end, or every 8 years.
We're gonna get mad with them, and we let
you play it safe for your first 4 so you can get elected again and do a little damage. And Obama ain't do nothing hardly, but he got, we got what people are starting not to love him, but you couldn't tell him nothing when he was in there.
Oh no.
But the reality of things are going to balance themselves out.
Well, you hear that, guys? Trump is a balancer. We're gonna see something.
Trump is not the balancer. He's the representative of the society. And they needed a balance in their psyche. And then us, I'll tell you, you gotta see how this feels. Like, you should see how we act when people get, like, I'm talking about liberal people run amok when they get in the White House. It's crazy though. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. We have no empathy for the losers.
You should run for office.
Think about that. Well, we the best at it, especially as black folk. When we think we won, we be all types of just, it's like, think about it. Think about how the black football players play when they get a touchdown. And at some point, the white NFL people was like, hold up, y'all doing too much. This is how it feels to be a conservative when the Democrats get in. Now they like, hold up.
To see them shaking their hands.
Keep that same energy.
Yeah.
Keep that same energy. I'm telling you, we are the best. I'm talking about especially black folk. We are the best at throwing it in your face. And I'm not even saying this is a black thing. I'm saying this is a white thing. Black people just learned to help just boost it up a little bit more.
You know, we gotta put that
and then we go too far. You said we gotta put that stink on it.
Gotta put that stink on it.
And then we take it too far. Neither side is innocent. Nobody on any of these sides have really considered the other. So you go from one extreme to the next. Now, Obama was middle ground, but I'm talking about the people. It ain't most. So Obama ain't do nothing for nobody. I mean, come on. All right, I know y'all gonna say he did this and did that, but I'm talking about.
You talking about Obama,
and then all of that and all that. I'm talking about on a material, systemic level.
Definitely not. For
I mean, I appreciate the social programs that the Democrats put into place. I do. I mean, they help us. Their survival programs. Cope for a little while until this happened again.
Coping mechanisms, yeah.
Yeah, and then we go far though. I'm talking about just we like. I'll be honest with you. just think about. I know y'all love it. Don't beat me up, y'all. Y'all know we running wild up in that joint. Think about this. Is what her name? Crockett. Jasmine Crockett. She is the right. But look, I'm not using her saying she's doing anything bad. But just think about how she be killing them up in there. Bam, bam.
Them yesterday,
huh?
I mean, she just got the Republicans talking about they were oppressed.
Oh my God! But look,
pulled them apart, babe.
but look how that feels. And it's like what I'm saying is it's a game. It's a game between the proletariat, the poor, the working class, to have us all fighting one another, while the powers benefit from it either way. What do you think gonna happen to Kamala? She got Homeland Security. What's it called? She got Secret Service.
Everything. She good.
What's gonna happen to what kind of war is this gonna be? The Secret Service gonna be fighting the Secret Service? Trump Secret Service gonna be fighting the bombers?
Wow.
Damn, that was I ain't never heard nobody say that. What was that? What's gonna happen? Perhaps. Secret Service does Trump now take control of the Secret Service and now tell the Secret Service to pull away from Obama?
I'm telling you, isn't that amazing?
Like who? Like is his Secret Service going to fight his Secret Service? They all getting protected by the same people.
The same people, in which one person has.
But they want to tell you this man is Hitler. But then they say, look, again, you're going to turn, well, Joe says, well, we're going to turn this over to you expediently and without any friction. How you turn something over like that? You call that man the devil. I don't trust you. If you give the devil something like that easy, use a sucker.
Because he said the people spoke.
The people ain't look. You look
putting them out.
You better have a real revolution. You ain't no good. You are not a political leader if you turn your government over without a fight to a political traitor.
The people spoke. That's their system.
They want to speak. The people elected a dictator.
Yeah. And they're fine with it.
And now. The
peaceful transition.
That's it.
Transfer of power.
A peaceful transition of power.
Yeah.
All right, fam. Let's get these questions rolling, fam. Y'all, look, y'all, hold up, y'all. What y'all typing?
34 and they're not coming. I don't see no questions, fam. Y'all got to come. But we're hour and 34 in. If it's anything you guys want to talk about before we get up out of here, we're on our last shows for the year, guys. We're closing this thing down, docking the boxes.
Yeah, Queen trying to make us start back up next New Year. So I'm like, what are you doing? Black woman, look, I tell you, you can't deal with these bosses. I told you she's a boss.
I had to come over here because see, I have technical difficulties in the Black Box Radio studio.
She's a boss for real. Look, did you see? Look, she be sending out these. Look, Trump would do better than she does sometimes. I mean, she sent out a flyer. You see my flyer? We're not going live. Like, what the hell? What? Can we have a conversation first? God damn, boss. Boss, let me get up and dance for you. Boss, goddamn.
Sit down.
Boss lady.
Why you gotta act up?
Well,
you're docking the box. So it's whatever, but the technical stuff. So
look,
I didn't know I could come over here.
You knew you can come over here. The last time you told me we're going to meet over here. You told me.
I know, but we were going. This was a hard one family, so I'm so happy to be sitting here and with Doc. And
yes, sir, boss.
He's my therapist too. Y'all don't know I get therapy.
I'm trying to tell you, it take a lot of work to be a therapist, y'all, especially hers.
He works with me, and I'm just trying to get y'all some free therapy.
Hey,
any questions?
They say this ain't no. They gonna need therapy after this with him.
Anything.
Look, all right, y'all. I'm different in the therapy room, not all the way, but yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you guys, get some free healing while we in here, because that's what we do in our community. You said last week, utilize our leaders. Dr. Daw's a leader.
Okay.
Hit the chat. But what kind of question you have? You can pose one question because I
to you,
to the audience and me, I guess. To Proper and JT, our peoples out here. What was the question? We always hitting you up.
A question for Queen. That's what you're saying?
For the audience.
The audience.
And Queen, I guess. I'll take this.
What kind of question y'all got for Sister Queen, y'all? What kind of question do y'all have for Sister Queen?
I hope you guys are questioning about we're building this platform. So if you have a legitimate show, a legitimate blog, something that you want to do every month, every week, please partner with the Black Box Radio platform. We can take care of the back office, the production, the part of your story that can be cumbersome if you're not privy to the digital aspects of podcasting, blogging, any of that. We can handle that. So please hit us up at blackboxradio@gmail.com. Ask any questions. We are and we're looking for new talent. We are a platform that makes space for the Black face. So many iterations of Black people, and we want to talk about it. So if you're doing something that you want to teach others, or you want others to be privy to, listen, please hit us up at blackboxradio@gmail.com. We're looking for new content, new shows. We're developing new content. And if you just want to come sit in the chair, we can handle that too. As long as you got the content, we got the back office. Come see us. blackboxradio@gmail.com. Email me, email the team. We will get back to you as soon as possible.
Hey, Queen, you ain't asked me no real questions there though.
I did want you to ask you.
You ain't asked me no hard questions. You asked me this political stuff.
Well, I'm trying to, I feel what Black people feel.
Ask me a question about Black men and Black women or something. I like.
Why are Black men running for Black women?
Is that a real question?
That's a real question.
What does that mean, though? I don't know if that's true.
Why aren't Black women able to find good Black men? And it might be vice versa. I'm not a man. Are Black men?
I think that is vice versa.
It might be vice versa.
I think it's vice versa.
But there's so many more women out here than men. You should be able to find a good woman. It's 10 to 1.
The problem is a lot of times we're speaking about people that are past a certain age.
40 and over.
Yeah, I think, again, one time I said this, I think we wait too long.
Mm.
And I think that's again buying into the thing that like go out there and
Get your
what is it? Get your
education.
education and also sow your what is it? Sow your what?
Sow your oats.
Yeah, sow your oats.
Yeah.
I'm trying, I will.
Take your time.
Y'all know I will mess up a. I don't even try to say those things because I don't know them, but
Colloquialisms.
those things, yeah, those little statements, whatever you call them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mess them all up. Sow your royal oaks or something.
Yeah, sow your oats. But yeah, go to school,
Yeah, I think we wait too long, and we're taught to be so independent.
Mm.
I'm talking about men are taught to be whores,
Mm.
and women are taught to be independent.
So true.
And even the men who aren't taught to be whores, like from their direct parents, it's like the society tells them that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been taught to be a whore. My son's never been taught to be a whore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know plenty of people haven't been taught to be that way, but it is in somewhat the Eurocentric culture, and black women are taught to go get yours, and don't worry about a man. Like literally, don't worry about a man. Don't worry about him.
When you start worrying, there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and sometimes we see what happens is father time or mother time, father time. You see, we're not thinking logical.
Yeah.
Like I think the problem is Eurocentric culture doesn't typically do things always in accord with nature. Literally, I think we need to get back close. To me, I think to be spiritual,
everything is away from like nature.
To be natural. Like even the way that we look at education is a very unnatural process. Education trumps, pun intended, education trumps natural biology. Like literally go and get your education before you consider like all this education before you consider being married or having a child.
Yep.
And it doesn't really work because people be horny. And then those who really follow it, they be lonely.
Wow.
And then those who still espouse some of you still be independent. Like there's no reason for us to stay together. It's so many, like
they're confused.
We got so much stuff going on. And I'm sorry to say this. Like a lot of us who practice these different forms of relationships, we don't have no reason. We shouldn't be practicing these things.
But
like Juju Mama. What is that? What is it? Polyamory or whatever.
Yeah.
Like when men and women having multiple.
Yeah,
like I know people practice that, but like see that comes from a place of trauma.
Open relationships.
Yeah, but even all of that comes from trauma and fear. To really settle down with somebody to be hurt again. Ooh. Yeah, so it's like it's so many reasons why people don't, and then we justify and rationalize why these things.
So is sex the tool?
Sex is the tool, and sex for men, a lot of these men who've been taught to really not be in touch with their emotions, or to some degree have a lot of I'm not saying they're clinically narcissistic, but have a lot of narcissistic traits or avoidant traits. A lot of women have that as well. These avoidant traits, they even use sex as a tool. But I was going to say something about that particular type of person. What was I going to say? I lost it. But yeah, sex is a tool for both.
Sex is the tool. So that's only the expression. But really they're running from something. They're avoiding. Oh.
Yeah, that they avoid it, and then there's over sexualization.
Yeah,
where you can't tell it. Then that becomes natural. Yeah. It's natural for me to be a whore.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. They might not say whore. They might say that I'm Oshun. Every woman in the African traditions can't be Oshun. They just say they are because they want to be fertile. They want to be fertile. I'm old. Then the other ones want to be old. Everybody want to be oh yeah. Like, stop giving your own. Oh, Dr. Maya, I'm not talking. I'm sorry, party. No, not you, Dr. Maya.
Don't get in trouble.
But I know a lot of Oyas, right? And a lot of Oshuns. because
So are we using everything to mask our
we use
trauma?
yeah, we use a lot of things to mask our trauma, and we even our so-called spirituality. I really don't think. I'll be honest with you. I just gotta keep it a buck. Like a lot of people say they're spiritual, they don't know the difference between that spiritual, as them being spiritual, and the trauma. Like, trauma has done something to us. A lot of times, what trauma has done to us, it has given us a overly developed imagination.
So we live in a fantasy.
Yes, absolutely. And we have all types of fantasies and powers.
But people are creating their fantasies. So that's how you create the relationships and the different partners and the different places and what you would like to do. So it's all fanatical.
It's a lot of fantasy, and a lot of people are struggling in relationships because they want their partner to not actually fulfill their fantasy. Those who even are in relationships,
the fantasy is not being fulfilled.
It's not being fulfilled, and you should hear the conversations that I have. And then the problem becomes we superimpose that with spirituality, and then we try to say it's nature, and
it's natural for a man to have a lot of partners
and women. For me too, all of us, not just men. I'm Oshun. I'm fertile. You know what I mean? Look, man, or vice versa. And a lot of that. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not more than one way to exist in the world, but what I am saying is that people tend to not really be honest with why they're literally doing these things. And so they kind of utilize any tool that they can to feel okay with that unresolved or unhealed trauma. And then we have, again, these overdeveloped imaginations. And it's okay, like, and people who are very avoidant, who they're so afraid to be in a relationship that they can only have fun with you at the beginning. Because once you talk about locking down, they're ready to run. And they'll find anything wrong with you. They'll find anything wrong with you. And they do this in all relationships. It doesn't even have to be sexual or romantic. We have a lot of stuff going on in our community, and it is as a result of a lot of the societal ills. And when I say societal ills, see, sometimes we're in the Black community, we're talking about, we often talk about, again, like we even spoke about earlier, we're talking about, your mother and father nurtured you, but we forget this society is relentless. This society,
it don't stop.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't care about.
It continues to contort.
Yeah, it doesn't care about how. In fact, some of these parents who overly nurtured their children and have these certain types of jobs and their children are some of the most unprepared. They can't take anything.
Yeah. Especially
a lot of our children. Like a lot of us, we grew up in some of our parents didn't live the way a lot of our parents, let's just be honest, a lot of our parents, I'm not saying some of it, like you talked about a story earlier, that I would argue that a lot of our parents, although they went through certain things, they did not go through always the same thing we went through. I mean, literally, there's something about growing up during the crack era that was a little different than growing up through the civil rights era. And I think we confused that. I don't think I think that we thought the war stopped when King got assassinated.
Yeah, like we got free all of a sudden.
And then the Panthers were detonated.
Yeah.
We think after that, we think that somehow the world went to this peaceful place and then crack didn't do anything. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about how crack has impacted my generation. You know what I mean? And how we've even become overly protective of our children many times, that they are so fragile that they can't do much.
That's it.
So,
and
and
we're
it's not
talking about the chemical disposition
and
of
it-
what crack did to the community.
and it's understandable
Yeah.
why we will protect our children so much and why we don't trust people, and just like previous generations. You know, and I think we're all doing the best we can, you know. Yeah, we're doing the best we can, but the society is relentless.
So does this society create the mental illness that you are that you deal with every day? Is this something, because not that mental illness was not there when I was younger, but what we see now is so prevalent.
It's
the youth. It is such a prevalent space.
It's just out there. It's more talked about. Social media has brought light to many things, right? Many of us are social. These mental this level of mental illness didn't just show up. This lack of emotional connection that many men have, or the stunted emotional range that men have, and I'm going to say it, the overly emotional range that women have. I think we got to talk about both, and vice versa. Some men are overly emotional. Some women are, their range is thwarted. It's like there's an imbalance going on emotionally, and and really these imbalances are just our way of trying to cope in a very harsh society. And this does not discount what the parents have done, or uncle have done, or what they haven't done. But the reality is, even what the parents have done and the uncles have done or have not done, like for example, neglect, you can't separate that from the system that we find ourselves in. You know what I mean?
So the system is still systeming.
The system,
and all of the other stuff you're dealing with too.
The system determines the type of mental health problems people have.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we see people that tension, and we live in such a fast pace. You know what I'm saying?
I see some things. Somebody saying something.
Yeah, that's Hotel. She's agreeing with you for once.
I think I won Hotel over.
I think so. Yeah, I think you did. So I think social media brought its own ills. She's right. Yeah, I think you run her over. It took a while, but I think she's on your side now. But absolutely.
She'll be back next week. She'll be back next week.
It's just something to say. Like, all of this mental illness, all of these things people go, the drug dependency of this country. There's something wrong.
The drug what?
Dependency.
When
it comes from even just our chemical use, when it comes from the legal use of drugs, but how dependent we are on drugs, and then our illegal use of drugs. We're a very drug dependent country.
Yeah, it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah, we're dependent on a lot. Sugar
or starvation.
Coffee. I know people. I have my coffee.
Or starvation.
Pepsi. Starvation.
Yeah,
we're dependent on a lot of stuff out here.
Yeah, we're dependent on a lot of things. People are just trying to maintain. Yeah, and this is not to say people don't have agency, but I struggle with the idea of people not being able to empathize with the struggle that's going on societally, because I think what we struggle with is sometimes we compare ourselves and what we were able to do with other people. But the problem is this, that if it was like, okay, most of the people were doing this, then I would say, okay, this is an outlier. This person there might be something. But when most people are failing, quote unquote, then we have to look at
the system.
Yeah, the water, right?
Yeah, because a few people can drink it and keep going.
Yeah.
But most people are choking.
Yeah. So it's like
the system.
Yeah. So then we say, well, look, I can drink the water. You know, it's got all types of lead in it, but
I'm fine.
my IQ is good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and him and Alexis,
The helo
cells are still populating.
still populating. baby.
If I had to compare yours against hers, then what would you say?
I'm not human. She's superhuman.
Yeah, like if everybody,
It had to- it had
does
to
everybody have
continue
that cell?
After death,
Right.
if that happened, then it'd be amazing. But it's not.
That's what you call tokenism again.
Mm.
We keep comparing like
Things-
don't tokenize me. I'm sorry. Look at you. No. Don't tokenize me.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally know.
Like you could be the example, but you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm not the example.
You're actually the you're the exception.
I don't like. I can't. I would say I'm an outlier in some ways, right?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I'm an exception in some ways.
Yeah.
But I don't take pride. I don't take.
It's not your personal pride, but if you look at it, it's not like you're.
Yeah, I don't like it. I even to some degree have survivor's remorse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's honest.
Yeah.
You achieve, and then it becomes almost like a crutch.
It ain't a crutch. It's like,
well, a crip.
I know. It's like I'm hurt that many of us are hurt, and so I'm not comfortable in places. I'm not comfortable in places where we're acting like we made it. I'm not comfortable in those places. No, I don't.
A lot of that's going on,
and it's okay for like some people are like, I shouldn't feel sad. You know, I think we should feel sad sometimes. I think we should feel somewhat the pain of other people's oppression. I mean, because I don't separate mine from theirs, because everything that whatever I'm granted, I put back into the community. But at the same time, I still know that I still have access and ability to spaces that others don't.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't give me a pride. I don't feel good about that. I feel sad and even angry about that at times. Yeah, I don't. You know, people are like people say, I hardly sit in the special chairs. When I'm walking down, I mean, it's okay to put your little regalia garb on and take a few pictures. That's cool. But I do that for you all right with it? Hey,
checking my
look.
My phone.
So I mean, but what I'm saying is like, I already talked about this, you know, and some people are like, well, I don't have to feel sad. I'm not going to feel sad for people. Like, no, I mean,
because I did this.
I mean, feel. There's nothing wrong with it. Feel it. Feel this. I don't think there's nothing wrong with feeling a bit sad about the conditions of our people. Literally, I don't. I'm not like, I think there's something so beautiful about that. Literally, I think there's something so beautiful about feeling sad about I'm talking about that you are, it shows the level of, it shows your humanity. Mm-hmm. But people are like, no, you shouldn't feel, no, feel it. If you feel it, then you can tap in. That's
the problem. We've been taught not to not feel it. We need empathy for each other. Otherwise, we're robots.
And that's what we are. As I was at a presentation last evening with Dr. Henry Gregory, and he spoke about one of the number one coping skills is avoidance, as we spoke about earlier. So a lot of us are walking around super duperly avoidant or anxious. But when we try to avoid, we don't want to, we avoid our emotions. In other words, we're not even tapping into ourselves. We avoid other people. We hurt other people. We do. We hurt other people, even consciously or unconsciously. We hurt other people. because we've been hurt. So we avoid. We're afraid. We're scared. We're this, we're that. And that's the problem. Going back to your initial question, that's the problem in our relationships. Not just our romantic relationships, but our intimate friendships, our close, our relationships with our parents.
We avoid.
Yeah, we're avoidant. Our culture, we are not doing well on many levels. Like, we are doing so well on a superficial level, but on a real familial level, parents are disconnected from their children. They don't feel like their children will take care of them. Children are living these separate lives. That women aren't in traditional roles and men aren't in traditional roles. Like that. That's not even an argument. Like, what's a traditional role? I don't see. A problem with America is that roles have hierarchy.
So you don't want to be certain roles.
Yeah. That's nothing wrong with the role.
It's nothing wrong with being a mother.
No,
the way they put it on the hierarchy list.
You don't. Yeah. So you don't want. So mothering is not at. So we need to. Yeah, we need to rearrange the way that we do things. Woo. We need to have babies. Woo. We need to have relationships earlier. I'm just look. I am not. I don't. Look. I don't hear nobody saying this. I've heard other people say other things. We need to prepare our children to be in relationships.
You talk about the hood chicks with the babies, but we need those hood chicks. And there's a bunch of
prepared hood chicks. Prepared
who ain't having no babies.
And no, the hood chicks are smart too. But
yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Who they call smart
getting all
chicks,
this education,
getting
right?
all the education,
right?
But ain't no children. The community ain't going forward. We need our hood chicks. We need all of that.
We need mothers.
We need mothers. Yes.
You know, I mean, like we need fathers. We need to prepare our children to have families.
Yes.
Earlier, everybody having babies at 40 now. What's up with that?
Right.
You about to die.
What would you say that?
I mean, I just want to say something a little spicy, but I mean, literally, people wasn't even living that long at one point. You 40-year-olds and you haven't.
We live in a new society. 40, 40 is the new 20, bro.
But everybody 40 know that they counting their mortality right now.
They have babies.
You can't even be
20,
if you 40. If you're 40 having a baby.
I know somebody just had a baby at 40.
Just think about it. What? If you're 40 and that's your first child,
yeah.
Do you give grandparents a fighting chance?
No. Because they're old. You're right. Wow.
Like, and look, people, our elders dying pretty early. I'm not gonna say no numbers.
But you know what? I think what you're saying is, again, society doesn't necessarily think about biology, because all of this go get education and what we're doing is for society. It's for you to be a person to position yourself in this society. But then you have all of this and you don't have any children, your grandparents, your parents aren't grandparents, your family isn't going forward.
Right.
But you're very smart.
We need to get back to nature. I'm telling you. It's like
I'm here.
You
That's
should.
The truth.
You should not be. Queen about to say the time, y'all.
Yeah. 2 hours, guys. And y'all ain't gave no questions recently.
So
we about to be out.
Yeah, we
close us down, DAW.
We definitely from my understanding, we have to do some things radically different. The point where I'm at in my stage of development is that I am, and I've been in this place before, but I think something happened.
She said you tried it.
I tried what?
I don't know what hotel she getting you. She said, okay, DAW, you tried it.
Hotel, what did I do?
She said you tried something.
Well, please articulate yourself, hotel. So, what was I about to say?
You better close this out.
Look, I know that. I'm trying to say what I was about to say, though.
Oh, that's what
you just knocked it out twice. When
that's what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got what you're saying. Like, I'm gonna be nice to Queen today, y'all. She's fragile today. She's innocent today.
Yes.
She wasn't meaning me no harm. Like at that time, she wasn't. It wasn't no sad. She was just helping me out. Well, she was just helping me out that time. I appreciate it, Queen. I appreciate it. Look, I got her on pins and needles right now because I am her therapist.
We gonna have a long talk after this.
No, we good. We good. Look, we had one 7 hours the last time.
Oh, I know. We can't do that.
She was in here looking at me like, I was like, lady, you owe me a check. What the hell? Can you go home, please?
Listen.
I'll drive you home. What should we? Oh God. But again, I'm in a stage in this place in my life where I think that's where I was going. Thank you. And I've been here before, but I'm here more comfortably now that I am not, again, as I said last week, I'm going to respectfully not mince my words. Because I understand in a very humble way, in a very pure way, that I do have a quality about me. I don't know, maybe the ancestors have endowed me. Has nothing to do with white people education or black people education. I mean, those things may have helped or altered or hindered at times. But I do know there's something about me, just honestly, that I can't deny that has, in some sense, given me wisdom beyond my years. I can't deny. People say it for years. I probably wouldn't say that thing in the past, but I mean, it's true. It's true. It's a lot of people who tell me this, and I know it to be true. But I play in a way that now I don't like. I like to stay grounded, but I am grounded. So, and if I didn't think this, I wouldn't be doing half the things that I do.
Sure, I agree with that.
Oh, you agree with that part, but not the first part.
I agree with all of it. No problem.
Look. No, so I wouldn't be doing. What I mean is, I wouldn't be doing the things I do, not because I wouldn't find myself in the position. I'm saying I would not take these roles on if I didn't believe I could serve in that capacity. Sure. But I do also, if you were saying other thing, I think that's also true to some degree, right?
Right.
Because we find by only, I guess, pushback, people find themselves in all types of roles that they probably shouldn't be in. True. Right. True. Now, me, I'm
you're controlling your role.
Yeah, I understand that I'm an asset. Right. I understand I'm really a person to such a great degree that I do have a high level of humanity. So much so that people struggle to see how I can even see these other people, how they may perceive things. Yes. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna let them up in my space and let them take over. I'm gonna fight my best to not let that happen. But I also think that we have to heal from some of these ideas that the oligarchy has put in our minds about utilizing these different identities against each other.
I think we have to first really recognize that there is an oligarchy. When people think oligarchy, they think of Russia and they look at other countries, but they don't think America has that same type of movement where there are people on the top and they're getting fat off of everything that we do, from fighting. Even when we get together, they're getting fat off of it. Entertainment, anything that the system presents, there's someone's getting the fat meat. And so, but we have a problem. We thinking that everybody has a chance to be rich. Everybody has a chance to be great. Everybody has a chance. It's false.
Did you say great?
Well, no, you could be great. Greatness, I think, is that's not quantified.
I think that'd be subjective, right?
Yeah, that's subjective. Greatness is not. I'm saying a chance to actually win in this society.
Yeah, and even
placements.
Yeah, and until if you realize, I try to reframe all these things. And I get what you're saying, but I think part of it is that I don't think that's winning. I think we have to reframe. even what we call winning.
Yeah, what we call winning is not even winning.
Yeah, I don't think it's winning. Like even like what I'm saying is I honestly can't feel comfortable.
Is not winning.
Yeah, I can't feel comfortable in my individual um what's the word? Me individually obtaining certain assets.
It's not winning.
Possessions or comfort creatures or what have you.
A lot of times, the more stuff we get, the more we feel we're winning.
Yeah,
and the more that we don't have to worry about paying our bills. That's a win. But really, those are all created spaces. But really, we're here is humanity, connection, community, the things that are naturally like getting back to nature is so important because what you're saying. It's the things that we've created as importance. It's only societal destinations that really mean nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. I
mean, we should have money. But we put these things.
Well, we can have money.
We can have money, but it has nothing to do with our humanity.
Yeah.
Our empathy. Our ability to connect. The things that we should do as humans.
Yeah.
But I think that we put that in the back burner on the rat race. Money, clothes, hoes. That's us.
Which is supposed to be winning.
Yeah, that's where the winning's at, bro. And we're not winning. Nobody is, but we think we are. And only a certain subset of people are winning off of everything we're doing.
And some people would say they're not even winning.
Ooh.
Even as
drop the hammer.
Like Dr. Gregory was saying last night, and I agree. When you look at people who supposed to be winning, do they look happy to you? Does Elon Musk look happy to you?
No.
Does Trump even look happy to you?
No, he looks sick.
No, they don't.
No.
So, and there's research that supports that certain level. There's only a certain amount of money in this Western part of the world that kind of does add to some level of happiness. And that's not a lot of money, but there's people across the country and the world that are happier, and people who are typically happier have something greater than themselves that they are invested in. But even more than that is that they are connected with other people. In this society, we are being connected with people is not the thing. It's really the individualistic obtainments, that we find to be, we think that's going to bring happiness, and we run for it. We run and we chase it, and we want it all by ourselves because we want to feel special. You know what I mean? We don't want nobody.
We don't even know that.
Say it again.
A lot of people. Here I go again.
No, you good. Keep going.
A lot of people don't even know that being special is what we're going after. They're not really.
Yeah, we're trying to be special.
Not the money. The money makes it special.
Right. The money gives you leverage to be special.
Yes.
That's why when you see black people, when they move from one neighborhood to another neighborhood, when they see other black people coming, they want to be the only black people. I want to be the only Mexican. I want to be the only whatever. I want to be the only woman. I want to be the only man or the only black man. I want to be I want to stand out. And that's, believe it or not,
just human. They want to be seen.
Just think about this. All right. So I taught at a PWI, right? There is nothing for me to become special at a PWI. I don't have to do much.
That's true. But you come to a black one, it's a whole bunch of you.
Yeah, when you go to a black school, you now have a bunch of you, right? So you're not going to be easily special. But when you go to a PWI, you're going to stand out. Everybody knows you. Oh, Dr. Winkler. You go to honestly, I'm a bit extra, so I will kind of stand out a bit where I go. I'll do things a little. My personality is I'm hardworking. So I'm a kind of like wherever I go, I'm a tend to somebody gonna try to push me up to try to put me in a position. Although I don't want any positions right now. None of those positions. But yeah, in closing though, what were we saying?
Closes out.
Yeah, so I guess I would say thank you, Queen, for coming up and joining me today at Black Box at TNAT.
This is good. I love it in here, guys.
And
How comfortable his office is. This
and
is how a boss lives.
and this is how a healer lives.
This is a healer's office right here. I'm feeling healed. So I hope you guys have felt healed today.
Yeah.
There's some questions. And listen, like, share, subscribe. What's your last will and testament?
I think so. I think I was closing out with saying that this is a season for me to just truly get back to some of the things, back to basics, back to back to some things I've been doing for a long time that you may not even know, Queen, that I've been doing for years.
What you doing?
No, when you first met me, I think I was still a minister here at TNAT. I still was doing the ministry work and all that type of thing. And this is an African-centered ministry, not a Christian ministry. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just not what I do. And that's what we're building again. And it's important that we have these, and come as you are. Bring your faith. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all of these different things.
Starting that again.
Yeah, we're starting that again. And look at I'm older now.
Mm-hmm.
I used to I'm saying what am I? I'm 45. Yeah, so when I started here at TNAT or the African Village at that time, I was I was 29, starting doing some things early on, but then I think I became like 30, 31 when I got consecrated or what have you from Dr. Higgins. But nonetheless, it's time again to get back to basis, and it's time for me to truly, again, as I was saying, I'm not mincing my words no more.
Put it up there. Remember, Dr. Daw don't mince words, baby.
Yeah, I'm not mincing my words no more. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to use my, people play with the spirituality thing. I don't play with it. Mm-hmm. But as my father told me, the elders told me to, I asked for permission to speak. And they said, speak. They've been actually pushing me, especially my father. Get
back.
Yeah, I'm not a spooky guy. I challenge people a little bit. But I do think spirituality and being spiritual is the connections that we have. And I don't understand if we don't have these connections with the past, the present, and the future, I question our spirituality. To me, spirituality is not a dance. It's not a shout. I'm not saying these things don't help. I'm not saying they do. But what I am saying is spirituality is more about a connection. And the connection is not just with you might call it the connection with God, the universe, the past, present, future, all people. You might call it the connection with all things, animate and inanimate. You might call it all of that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying, to me, is the connection. And I can't believe you're not going to convince me that we are as spiritual as we say we are, and we can't be in relationships. Not going to convince me. I'm not saying a person's not spiritual, but something's not balanced. And I think spirituality and mental health is like all connected. When you're out of balance, you're out of balance. When we talk about our ancestors, talk about Mayat. It's about truth, justice, balance, order, harmony, reciprocity, propriety, properness. And we can do anything in a society that we want to do without any rules. I was speaking about no gender rules. There's nothing wrong with gender. We have to become back aligned with nature, aligned with what is natural, what is natural. We can't be operating out of season and acting as if we're going to get good outcomes. Return back to nature.
That's it, family. Return back to nature. This has been Doc in the Box every Thursday at 9 p.m. Listen, hit us up at blackboxradio@gmail.com. If you got questions or comments, go over to also our Winkler page, like, share, subscribe. Please come to Black Box Radio and like, share. We really appreciate you. Until next time, make a comment, throw some questions in there, and we'll maybe come up with a show around that. This is going to be on YouTube. We're out of here, guys. We'll see you next Thursday at 9 p.m. Deuces.
Claim your African, black and proud. I'm telling you, become a part of it. Embrace it. Become a part of it. Embrace it. Become a part of it. Embrace it. Become a part of it. Embrace it.